Time for some cooking right now. And you can see here I'm about to cook again in my house. Ellen, I don't know who she is, but I just pulled up a recipe. Now, but I was in college just a couple years ago. I learned how to make this meal, and we don't make it very often in this house. Even though I'm married to an Italian, this is an Italian dish, so we don't have it very often. So if we take a look here, our main ingredient is the chicken. And then you can see here we have different spices. Garlic is huge, tomato. We don't have a lot of onions, so I'm going to get out some onion powder and our green pepper. So we're a little light on the onion, but at least we have onion powder. That is funky chicken. So I can't touch anything right now until I get my hands washed. So I'm just going to shoot this in 3 segments. You can either have, I learned with rice to put underneath as a garnish, but since this is more of an Italian, I'll be holding up my penne and my, you can't see, angel hair pastas right here. Right here we have optional mushrooms and optional spinach, which I may or may not put in because Ellen's recipe is going to be different from mine, but I'm going to go with my old school way. Okay, I'll show them the chicken. So we will check back in a moment. All right. Okay, we're in phase 2 right now. I just wanted to show you prep time was about 15 minutes. I was right. Cook time, we are 6:16. We're about 25 minutes in, so that should be pretty correct. Well, not worried about that. I have 6 half breasts in there. Here's my guy. Alright, so this should get all eaten. So our tomatoes here, they're basically cooked. They're tomatoes, they don't take a lot. We need to get these cut now. Peppers and onions in there, so they start to cook. Move it around. Alright, get that in there. So I have my garlic, which every good Italian loves. Now men, when they're chefs, they tend to not measure. Get some onion powder, and women, they tend to measure. Basil, of course. Now, of course, 5 minutes before it's done, I'm going to come back in and taste. There's my oregano. And of course, every good Italian and Mexican loves a little spice. You have to go easy because my family's a little bit light when it comes to spice. Alright, so I'm going to let that cook for a few minutes before I add the tomatoes. When we come back, you will see the tomatoes already in there. So we chose, our cameraman predominantly, to go with the angel hair, which was not met too well from one of my former cameraman. Alright, so, hold on. Whew, that was close. This stuff cooks like in seconds. So, good thing I have experience and I caught this, because if we used the penne or the rice, that would have needed to gone in now. But I'm going to drop this down to low. And I'm going to cover this back because that is going to cook way too quickly. So, a little too late, but I can get this back in. Alright, so we shall return in a moment when it is almost finished. Okay, moving along. Oh yeah, look at this. Had a little straggler sneak in there. So, whew. Let's just put a little more heat in there. Now, they're big slices. There's some good seeds right there. So you'll know to avoid that if you don't like the heat. Now, what I didn't mention, always important to use virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Get a kick out of that. Huge in your cooking. Very healthy. Okay, so now I'm going to go with our tomatoes. And again, it helps if you know what you're doing. You don't have to look at a recipe. I have changed this a little bit, especially using angel hair, which we're about to do. I've never done that. and I've never used cayenne pepper, so I added to this recipe, changed it a little bit, which is kind of what I want you to do if you're going to do a family recipe. Alright, so we're going to cover this, 6:35, so you can see it's been 19 minutes, so we should be about done. I'm going to crank this a little bit, and in 5 minutes we should be close to being done. Alright, now, so if you look here, preparation instructions should take, 5 minutes since we're at elevation. So this will be done in 5 minutes. So there's a couple schools of thought. Going all in, and with angel hair it's a lot easier to go full. So I'm just going to go full. If you have those big spaghetti, thicker ones, sometimes you might just want to. Alright, so I need to make sure and angel hair is super thin, it just slides right down, that's why it cooks super quickly. So I need to put a timer on that know that it'll be close. I have to get out my colander, my strainer. Alright, so we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're getting our angel hair pasta off of the stove. Alright, that's there. So we come over here, check. Oh wow, that is cooking big time. Alright, so I already did a little taste test, so no need to taste it. It's a little spicy, so that's good. Everything else is good. I'm not stressing over that. Now we have so I'm not going to do a lot of spinach. I'm sure most of you don't like spinach, so we can add it to the pot later. But if I just put a nice bed, just get a little bit in there for my children who don't like spinach, but most of them do. And then the mushrooms again, most of you don't like the shrooms, but you can't pass up on already. And this is usually in the recipe, since I have an 18-year-old son now who eats virtually everything that's not cheese or sugar or chocolate. Alright, so we're going to put that back there. I'm going to take my cans and recycle them, and we'll be back for the finish. Okay, the grand finale. So before we go and check it out, the finished product. So again, however you want to do it, here's all your ingredients, which I obviously didn't use orange juice or white wine, not that you know of anyway. Dried rosemary, I did some black pepper, of course, and there's the tomatoes, there's the garlic, there's the mushrooms at the end, there's the onion, there's the chicken. This is the first time I'm looking at the recipe. They use thighs, I use breast, there's the all-important olive oil. So this is not chicken cacciatore, but this is a different recipe. So you can do it on a 3x5 card, send it in with your packet, and then go ahead and write the instructions for cooking, the process, and there you go. I got an ad popping in there. And do it however you want, or just get a sheet of paper, chicken cacciatore, and like 3 chicken breasts, right, 2 TBS olive oil, and you get the picture, okay? All right, so now it comes time to get a Mexican bowl here. So we're gonna go ahead and get our angel hair. It's a little dry now, not quite as wet. So we'll just get it in there. So a little bit of pasta. Might put a little bit more, but let's just keep this rolling. All right, let's see what's happening here. Oh, yes. Yes. All right, so I'll just go and dig in here. Put that there. Next, I'm going to get some of the junk or goodies, whatever you want to call it. Get a little bit of sauce. Alright, and then the optional. So now another thing, I think my oldest son, this isn't on the list, and I've never done it, but this is provolone cheese. Very excellent. I just put that right there. I think he'll like that. That'll make up for some of the mushrooms. Okay, getting a little bit more. Hopefully there's one of those hot peppers in there. All right, so there's our dish. I know that none of you are probably going to record it, so just snap like a before, a during, and an after of you. I don't have a fork. My fork's over there, but you enjoying it? Snap. So snap that photo. Send the photos in, and that's your project.